Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame. Presented by Circus Sportsbook. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app. Sign up today. What's going on, Bulls fans? I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. We've got a full house tonight. Big day.
Everywhere you look.
BAWL Sports. Will, the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Our pal and producer, Joey Spathis. And our guest of honor for tonight's pre- and post-game festivities, our former co-star and Bulls Outsiders, NBC Sports Chicago. These days, in addition to being a wonderful husband and father, he is making the world a happier, smarter place, making content for Merriam-Webster Dictionary. If y'all ain't following Merriam-Webster on Twitter, on Instagram, you're missing out. Because it's this dude.
It's so good. Can you tell us more about it?
Just please follow it. I have a kid, so please.
By the way, his name's John Sabine.
Did I not say that?
It is. No. You just went into telling what he does and everything like that.
I like
because we're excited.
Know.
I'm just saying that's who he is.
I'm thrilled to be here to watch a Bulls game immediately. I can't believe there's another Bulls game right now.
Another one. Shout out DJ Khaled. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm always happy to see you, man.
I'm thrilled to see you.
I swear, dog. I don't see you enough, man.
I'm busting.
He's so funny. My family asks about you often.
Really?
Yeah, they do. They're like, where's the funny guy that was on there with the gloves?
Funny looking guy.
No, just the funny guy. It's always the funny guy with the gloves.
Well, thank you.
All the time.
It's very cold out. You should be wearing pants.
I'm hot all the time.
I can't believe that.
I got an AC going and everything.
I cannot believe that.
I'm cool, man. I'm all right. Yeah, it's who I am, man. I'm always like this, bro. I'm me, and I quite enjoy being who I am.
I do want to double down on Will's question, though. What is it like making content for a dictionary?
It's.
Tell us everything.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Read us all of the words.
I mean, that's the thing. That's
Aardvark.
There's always the way in, right? Like it's words.
Yeah.
So you can always just like, how are we gonna find a? Oh wait, let's put the definition. It's really kind of a cheat code. It's great. I love the dictionary. I learn stuff. It's great.
I mean, but like you're using humor to teach very important definition and grammatical lessons. Like the Backstreet Boys one, when you were teaching people the difference between you are and your.
Yeah.
I loved that because every time I see someone on Twitter trying to say you are and spell it Y-O-U-R without an apostrophe R-E, I die a little inside.
I'm someone who makes that mistake too. And I even type like you with just the letter U in text, and I've had to stop doing that because
because of him.
No, because I work at the dictionary. And I'll slack, and I'm like, I can't talk like an idiot.
That is a quote for the ages.
That is a flex for the ages.
So I have to.
Can we get you to pull some strings to get point guardsmanship? Written in.
Yo,
come on, man.
Here's the thing. Want to know a cheat code?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just start using the word more.
I use it all the time.
We all need to start. If you want
I'm
a word
the reason
in,
people are saying.
If you want a word in, just use it more.
One of your colleagues had a video that they posted on Merriam-Webster on Instagram the other day, saying that basically we gave up on insisting that irregardless is not a word, and they added it to the dictionary because so many people kept using it.
Without regard.
Well, it's been a word since like 1728 or something, so it's been around. But we recommend
ridiculous.
We recommend to use regardless for what it's worth
because it's a word,
but it does exist. It's a word.
Why don't you like irregardless?
Because it's not a word.
It's a word. I hate to break it to you. It's a word.
Bullshit. Well,
you don't have to use it.
If irregardless gets to be a word, then point guardsmanship for sure gets to be a word.
Bing!
The dictionary has moved away from telling us what is and is not
exactly,
a word and moved more towards encouraging us.
Oh,
that's right.
We don't have the time, but yes, we just
only.
Yes.
we just we're like the weather app. You don't get mad at the weather app if it rains. It's just like, it's raining. We just say this is what the words that people are using. That's why
y'all roll with
we
it.
don't say should. We don't make judgment calls. No
like
judgment
bling when it ended up in the dictionary.
I think it probably is.
It is. No, it is. It definitely is.
Jorts just made it.
Oh, shout out John Cena.
I couldn't. When I first got hired, I looked up no jorts. This year I was thrilled.
John Cena, I thought Stone Cold was like the jean shorts guy.
Yeah, but I think he doesn't say jorts. I think he just I think Stone Cold doesn't even know what he's wearing is weird. He's just he's like, well, those are called pants. Like, whereas like John Cena is aware.
That's it. Very aware.
Yeah. Anyway, Bulls.
Anthony in the comments, you had a pair of extra gloves this whole time. This man always has a pair of extra gloves.
Man. He's always
great Dumb and Dumber reference. Samson said, my first time watching the show live, but I've been watching since you guys were on the old platform.
Shout out.
Samson? Shout out. Good to see you here.
Back into the mood.
Christian A said, I got money on the Bulls tonight.
You should say like his name, right?
Bold choice. I hope it works out well for you. Bulls actually favored in this game on the road.
No,
Which I think is a little strange. We'll talk about it because this Pistons team, they might be young.
They're good.
But they're stacked. Mm-hmm. They've got talent. Before that, though, update on one of our Bulls players, Zach LaVine, who we talked in postgame last night, looked like he was sore, looked like he wasn't getting up and down the floor that well, did not have a great shooting night. Saw him wearing some sort of brace or pad during halftime warm-ups.
Yeah, pad.
Then, Will, you were there at the UC last night, thanks. And said that Zach was experiencing some sort of back stiffness. They called it a game time decision. Like, sounds per a tweet from Casey Johnson about 15 minutes ago, Zach said he plans on playing tonight. Do you think that that's wise, or do you think that maybe give Zach the night off on the second night of back-to-back if he is hurting?
And even since then, the Bulls Twitter account has reported that he is in the starting lineup. So Zach is a go.
There you go.
I mean, I probably wouldn't because you wanna keep it rolling. You got like a good thing going here with the win last night. But yeah, the way he played, why press it? He did not look right.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. Go ahead.
Maybe last night was the night he took off. And if he's good to go, he's good. I say you play him.
You say play?
If he wants to play, play. We don't know what's up. Maybe
he has to play at least one night on the back-to-back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it wasn't great, so maybe give him. Maybe he just needs to get in the groove.
Yeah, I mean, Zach's
he
gonna
looked
play.
Bad though.
He looked in these first two games. He has not
Stiff.
looked good at all. Very stiff.
Yeah,
but it's messed up when you look out of rhythm bad, but then when you look injured out of rhythm bad, like it's a bad combination, man. But I can't
Zach,
tell, man.
I couldn't tell because he's like one of the smoothest players.
Yes.
They're like in the whole league. It looks like he's dancing on ice the whole time.
Yes,
like,
correct.
and so maybe like he's not like like Luka, who's like he looks like he sells like Ric Flair. Like he always looks like he's injured, and so maybe it just looks worse because we expect him to be so graceful.
Can I just say I'm impressed? We're not even 10 minutes in, and you got a Luka reference in already.
And a Ric Flair.
And a Ric Flair.
Really
I'm so proud of you.
I even asked him about Luka when he got here before we started the show.
Couldn't get out of my system.
But I assumed it was coming anyway. It's hard not to talk about a guy who just puts up 49, 9, and 7 like it's nothing.
Just a hook shot 3 because he felt like
that was the dumbest.
To win the game.
It was the dumbest shot I've ever seen.
No biggie. That's what he fourth in a row, by the way.
Speaking of Zach needing to find some sort of rhythm and having not found it through these first two games, he spoke about that last night as well, saying we're all trying to find a rhythm, me included, obviously. I just haven't found it the first couple of games. I haven't wanted to force anything either, but obviously I got to start getting things clicking. This is not the way I should be performing.
Is this his boy band picture?
I love those.
Look at that. That's Media Day. Those are the earrings he was wearing Media Day.
Man.
Looking smooth as hell.
Space.
Will, what did you make of Zach's self-evaluation after last night's game? And are you at all concerned that this is what we've seen from Zach through 2 games? Or are you saying, hey, it's 2 games, way too small a sample size to be concerned quite yet?
If I didn't know about the back stiffness situation, I would not feel concerned at all. The back is making me turn up the concern meter just a little bit, but he's just so good that he'll figure out eventually. I mean, I think it's like an accurate depiction of what's going on right now. He's like, yeah, I'm not playing well. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Joey, we're going to need a Will Concernometer graphic. I'm going to need that because you got to turn that up every once in a while.
That sounds so much cuter and nicer than the Rage-o-meter that someone else has been assigned.
I didn't know I thought it was an anger meter.
Is it the anger meter?
It was an anger meter, but Rage-o-meter sounds a lot better. Yeah, Rage-o-meter. That sounds amazing.
If you start a quote with "We all need to find a rhythm," that's like not a great.
Yeah,
you're not happy.
Yeah.
Well, and then me obviously, but if your first response is everyone's bad, it's like okay,
that's a good point.
Let's just talk about that.
No, that's a good point. I didn't even think of it until you just said that.
You didn't need to throw that grenade.
Yeah, you're right. Now, we all suck. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course, me, obviously, but we all stink.
They're shooting 39% as a team this year. I mean, it's not good.
It's not, man. It's not good.
25% on threes.
Were they 30th in 3-point percentage?
How many teams are there?
Yes.
26%, 30th?
Yeah. I think, was that you who had that stat in a tweet earlier today, Will? Or was that, I think that was actually our pal Bulldog.
Oh, Bulldog put that? Shout out. Shout out Bulldog. Yeah.
Shout out Bulldog. Last in 3-point percentage. 29th in field goal percentage, and I think they're like 28th or 29th in offensive rating. Under 100, 99.6 offensive rating. That is so bad.
Not great.
Only 2 games.
Not good, Bob. And 1-1. Not good, Bob. And favored in this one, man. Oh, you got to love the NBA. It's fantastic. Oh, man, it's the best.
Fire Junior Sports said, don't check the starting backcourt percentages. So Kobe and Zach combined to go 8 of 30 in their first game Wednesday. I believe last night they combined to go 8 of 29. Ooh. So, like one miss at a time this season, they'll just gradually get better.
Just chipping away.
And then once we get to like February or March, they'll be shooting 100% combined from the field.
It was fun. Kobe, I think I've seen get off to these kind of starts before, you know what I mean, to start a season. We've seen him shoot. He'll find his way. Zach is the one that's a little like, yo, man, like, you okay? Like, I've never really seen it this, bad from him. I really want to find that stat because he had 8 points yesterday. I really want to know the last time he hasn't scored double-digit points because that has to be a minute because, like, Zach, that's what he does. Like, he's going to score even if the shooting is bad. Like, he's going to put the ball in the basket. He'll do something. But it just none of it is working for him, man. And then placing a back injury, you know what I'm saying, spasms on top of that, it's not a good look for him, man. But he's going to keep plugging along because if his leg falls off, he'll just say, "Here, hold that," and he'll go back out there and try to play. Like, that's the kind of person he is. We talk about that time all the time when we all met him in the tunnel,
dude. He was like, they had a
limping in, and he still was like, "Yeah, I probably would have played."
Yeah, I wanted to.
What? Like, no, dude.
The last time he did not score.
I just looked that up too.
Go ahead.
The game against Orlando when he got benched.
He
had 4 points.
Oh, wow. You know what's so funny? We probably could have gotten there. You know what I mean? Because like that was so.
Talk that out. Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
One of what? 13?
One of 14.
Yes,
4 points.
That was. Oh my
Played
God.
25 minutes and change. I mean, I look at it a little differently, Dave. Obviously, if this Zach back stiffness, back tightness lingers, then that is a big concern for me.
Sure.
If you're talking about your Bulls starting backcourt and their shooting percentages, to me, Kobe is a bigger concern.
Okay.
Just because Zach, when Zach is on,
we know
is on.
Yes.
For the entirety of Kobe's career, he has been a very streaky shooter.
Correct.
It's something that I harped on while also showering him with praise this offseason, talking about what he's done to improve his game and what we want to see better still. What did I ask of Kobe this year?
What did we say?
Prove you can be a 40% three-point shooter for an entire season. We see Kobe hitting threes from the goddamn logo practically last night, and you can't be a 40% three-point shooter? I call bullshit.
He calls bullshit. That's what he does. But I think he'll get there. Honestly, I'm not – it's something I've seen him do throughout his seasons, man. And you say streaky because you're absolutely right. But I'm used to seeing him get those slow starts and then still kind of finding his way. And then like around December, he kind of kicks off. I think the difference of this now, though, is you're the starting point guard. So I don't have time for you to kind of get there. I need you to get there a little bit quicker because you're starting, and I need you. Now, he was one of the reasons they actually won that game.
I thought he was good.
Like, he was really solid, man. Like, what do you have, 17, 6, and 8 or something like that?
Yeah.
So, like, he was really solid, and his defense was really solid. So he was a great he was a great contributor yesterday for them getting that victory. But, the shooting has to come along because that's what he is known for. That's when he's at his most dangerous.
Kobe is the least of our problems, says Fly the Dub in the comments. I'm not saying Kobe's a problem. I'm just pointing out the fact that he's a streaky shooter.
Yeah, just pointing out the backcourt bad shooting.
Right.
Just running it through, bro.
You also have to imagine, like, Zach is shooting 13% on threes this year.
Yeah.
He's a 38% three-point shooter.
Right.
Kind of spooky for
We'll
Halloween.
regress to the mean.
Same with Kobe. Last year, 54% on twos, 37 on threes. This year, 38% on twos. He's just going to be better than that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too small of a sample,
This is literally like my favorite thing about everyone always for the NBA always says, well, this is a small sample size. This is 2 games. This is actually a small sample size.
2.
I'm not sure at what point you can say this is enough of a sample size, but 2 games is definitely
more than 2.
More than 2
is not that number.
Yes.
Speaking of Bulls were displeased with their 2-game sample size, I saw Anthony asking in the comments about Patrick Williams and the Bulls starting lineup and whether or not Billy's making a change. You mentioned officially the Bulls Twitter account announcing the starting 5, including Zach LaVine. It also includes Patrick Williams.
Yeah.
No change to that starting lineup from Billy Donovan, as we discussed last night, after another pat game. 13 minutes, and then a yank.
And you thought it wouldn't be a change, right? Well, like you feel it would keep going.
Yeah, Billy kind of mentioned it last night. Like it's just it was a late game. They had a little bit earlier of a game today. They're obviously traveling. It's back to back. Just like not enough time to really go for it with the switch and like create a new game plan. I don't know if like they really need to do that whole rigmarole to like just start Torrey Craig, but I also think that they're trying to be kind of careful with Patrick's like confidence right now. And yeah, I don't know if benching him after 2 games is like the best move.
Yeah, they're nicer than me and Matt. I promise you that.
I mean, it's just basically treating him with kid gloves.
I mean, Billy's
Not those gloves.
Billy's saying I'm not making the change because of it'd be hard to like. Oh, it's a quick turnaround. Doesn't instill confidence either. Of like that's just saying. Oh, you would. Oh, so if it was a game, if we had a day apart, you would definitely make the change. Then you're a coach. You haven't thought of a contingency. Like that's did he actually say that? Like he said like.
He didn't say like I'm not going to do it because of that.
But he said listed that as a
like,
reason.
You know, I don't know. We got a quick turnaround. It was like
no, that's saying it. That's wild to me. That's saying you would do it then.
Billy D, baby.
We got to take a quick break. Shout out some of our sponsors. Then we'll come back. We'll talk about these Pistons that are staring down the Bulls for tonight's action. Big Dave.
Will the GOAT Gottlieb. What time is it?
it's game time.
Hoot. Put the hoot on it. He actually said hoot. Come to the GOAT for it, ladies and gentlemen. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all your sports, music, comedy, and theater near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy tickets to every event in your area. My favorite thing, the views from all the seats in the venue. Lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and much, much more. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. So you can miss the opening act and still catch the big act later and save you some money on Game Time. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. And with zone deals, you pick the section and Game Time will pick the seats for an average of, I wish I had a drum roll, 18% savings, dang it. Woo, that's pretty dang good. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price possible. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Game Time, download that app, create an account, use that code CHGO, and you'll get yourself $20 off with your first purchase, y'all. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Because John Sabine, what time is it?
Game Time hoot.
Let's go.
No, it wasn't.
You know my favorite thing reading this is where it says spell out the code, CHGO. Like, I don't know no other way to do it. Like, is that the only way I can do it right there?
Depending on who you ask. Could be Chuggo.
Well done. Well done.
Shout out to my buddy Connor, who after nearly 2 years still calls it CHGO.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I get that one a lot.
Halfway between
I've never
spelling
gotten
out
that
the
one.
letters and
That
just throwing the word
broke
go
my
in
brain.
there.
Yeah, it's either like Chago or
Yeah.
like that's so basic.
I've never got
how can
any
it
of
be
that.
both?
Yeah. It's a woozy. It's a wazi.
Yeah.
It's a woozy.
Sounds like some sort of like Scrabble-esque game that you would download like the app for on your phone.
CHGO. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you sound like you'd be terrible to playing Scrabble.
I think he'd be. Really
I'm terrible to play
beast.
in anything,
I think he'd be
Dave,
really good
Fair.
at Scrabble
because
though.
I'm
I
a
think he'd be
horrible
amazing
winner and
at
a
it.
horrible loser. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter the
Power
game.
of the
Yeah.
entire dictionary at his fingers.
Right.
I mean, we all do, guys. If you download the Merriam-Webster app on your phone,
There it is.
it's free for you.
It's free.
CHGO Bulls pregame also brought to you guys
fun.
by our friends at Goose Island Beer Company. Chicago's beer since 1988, the Jordan year. They've got an incredible beer roster. It's October, so drink their Oktoberfest, or you could try one of their wonderful IPAs in the Beer Hug family, tropical, hazy, neon. You could try the classic Goose IPA in the tall boy can. That's what I'm enjoying right now. And of course, the Full Pocket Pills, which Big Dave is sipping on.
It's our favorite.
Grab an ultra-fresh brewery-exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Ave in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Also, if you're heading to the Madhouse, don't forget to try that new Goose Bulls collab, the Bull and Goose West Side
Sipping
IPA.
on Bull and Goose.
Boom. Laid back?
With your mind on Chicago and Chicago on your mind.
I was going to say with my mind on my beer and my beer on my mind.
Well,
but,
that too.
That
like
works.
You like that one, John?
I'd liked them all. I've literally liked them all tonight.
Just keep it coming.
Just keep it going.
Keep it going.
It's a factory over here, Will.
All right, guys, let's talk a little Pistons. They are 1-1 coming into tonight's game, just as the Bulls are. They are nearly 2-0 because they almost pulled off a furious 19-point comeback against the Miami Heat in their season opener, much like we saw the Bulls do against the Raptors last night. In that game, Cade Cunningham, who sadly missed all but 12 games of his season last season with that shin injury, looked damn good, dropping 30 points on just shy of 50% shooting from the field, also dished out 9 assists. Pistons can't quite get it done.
0 free throw attempts.
Correct.
Which is crazy.
However, in game 2, they get a pretty convincing win over the Charlotte Hornets. Alec Burks, team high 24 off the bench. He went 11 of 12 at the free throw line on his way to those 24 points.
Damn, get out of my brain.
I mean,
I was thinking, that's why I missed it.
there's so many different ways to go when you talk about the young talent on this team. Like, obviously happy to see Cade Cunningham back and healthy. He's an exciting young player.
He's awesome.
It's going to make beating the Pistons harder this year because, by the way, 4 of the Bulls' 40 wins last year came from sweeping the Pistons, who basically didn't have much
They
of
played
anything
him in
out
France, too. Did you guys know that?
there. Yeah. I think we were there.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Bulls Pistons in Paris.
I don't remember.
That was a good time.
It was a good time.
They obviously have young talent abounding, not just Cade Cunningham. They've got Jaden Ivey. They've got Jalen Duren, Ausar Thompson, who I do want to talk about. Will, who is the most intriguing piece of this very exciting young Pistons core that they've built over these last few draft classes?
I mean, I think it's still got to be Cade. I know that's maybe not the most exciting answer because they have so many of these, like, exciting new toys, but Cade is like superstar potential. He kind of showed you in that first game. He's going to be like the driving force of a very good team. And then you throw in the Jaden Iveys and the Ausar Thompsons and the Jalen Durens. Like, they've got a really exciting young core, but I think Cade is going to be the one that makes everything go.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm a huge Thompson fan.
Me too. I love
colossal fan of his. I think he's going to be really special for them. I hated that they got him. I hated that they got Ivy as well because those were the two I just really like because I think those guys are going to really be good. But they're so deep, like just as a young core right now. Like, and they're able to take chances on wild cards right now. Like guys like
Bagley, Wiseman.
Correct. Exactly. So you can take they're not great enough to where they're worried about them ascending into a top 3 seed, but they're not bad enough to where you're like, well, we don't have to worry about them. So you can take a risk right now on these wild cards and allow them to see if they're going to develop and be the kind of guys that they got drafted to be. Like, they're in a really good position, and they got the right coach and everything. Like, everything's set up great for them.
And it feels like they're going to make a huge trade because they have all those centers. They got Bogdanovich, who everyone's going to want.
Are you saying they don't need Bagley and Wiseman?
I mean,
which, by the way, through their first 2 games, it looks like Bagley won that competition
which
for
is
backup minutes.
Congratulate! I mean, sign the beat. Let's just do it. Like, let's just fully do like second overall busts.
How glad are you that it wasn't Bagley who was sitting there for the Mavs in that draft?
I cannot. I have a buddy.
Can you imagine your life right now if you didn't get to watch Luka every night?
I mean, they chose Bagley. The Kings coach was the Slovenian. No, that was the Suns coach.
Yeah,
the Suns coach said no, and both those guys are gone off their teams now.
Yeah, and Vlade's going too.
That's crazy.
Like, everything did not work for them.
I mean, people are. How are these teams? Anyway, I don't understand.
But
like, we all knew. Anyway,
yeah, but they're just so stacked that certain, like, they got the goon factors too. When they got Beef Stew, you know what I mean? They got Jalen Duren. They got bumping,
that's
bump and thump out there, man.
That's my favorite one.
Like, those guys, they got those kind of guys who already have that kind of mentality at a young age. That's great to have. So going forward, by like year 5 with those kind of guys, it's gonna be a problem, man. Like, this team is a real issue. they're going to be hard to handle for the Bulls. The Bulls are going to have an issue with athletic guys. You know what I mean? It's just going to be that way. You have to counter that with the defense that you have. Of course, Alex Caruso, Ayo, we'll see what he does tonight. I don't even want to say Patrick Williams because, oh, my God. But, yeah, they have to counter that with that kind of defense. They're not going to do anything with DeMar. DeMar's DeMar. So I'm interested to see what Vooch does in these kind of games because he has an advantage, at the center position, man. Like, they don't have nobody who can really match up and stop him.
They got guys, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, if Boucher was feasting and eating last night, like, think about all these other guys.
That's true. That's true.
Boucher looked really good at the end of the game.
Up until he tried to do the bye-bye wave to the Bulls crowd.
What a moron.
And then he was the one who tried to get the closeout block on Caruso in the corner for that dagger three.
Yep.
Didn't get there and ended up falling into the Bulls bench and just sitting there while the Bulls
celebrated. And I know you guys
celebrated.
probably talked about this last night, but that pass by Zach was unbelievable. And it
was
wasn't
sick.
one of those passes. It was a Simmons pass where it's like, I'm not going to shoot it. I'm afraid to get fouled. This was like a playmaker.
Yeah.
He drew the defense in.
That was the right basketball, the weird right basketball play.
His injury helped.
One of the most heads-up plays I've seen Zach
So,
make.
like, I feel like that alone, I'm like, I hope he keeps playing. Because that was
Yes, it was on point.
You mentioned Thompson. Shout out to our guy Fish. I saw in the comments saying both of those Thompson twins are sick. So, I mean, that was a really cool part of this year's NBA draft. Amen Thompson, Ausar Thompson, brothers who go in consecutive lottery picks. Amen goes 4 to Houston, right? And then the Pistons take Ausar Thompson at 5, product of OT Elite. And here's the interesting thing, because he is shooting 19% from the field through his first 2 NBA games.
Okay.
10 points total. Everything else about him looks amazing.
freak.
In these first 2 games of his, he's pulled down 20 boards, dished out 9 assists, and tallied 9 blocks. 6 blocks.
Impressive.
So maybe the shooting comes around. I know it was a concern for people, scouting him on the draft boards earlier this year. It was never a strong shooter at the previous level, but he's already making an impact in other ways when you see him crashing the boards.
Quick shout out to the shirtless wonder who is here with a new profile
look at
picture.
Shirtless Wonder's shirt joint, man.
Profile
Look
picture.
So there's a whole thing. There's a guy who was
But yes, Matt.
a year ago.
All-
I used to see him
all
out there
correct.
and talk about him all the time. Of course, everybody told me I was crazy, but I talked about him all the time. And now he's actually not only called a guy who actually comes in and, what am I trying to say?
Hangs out in the comments?
Thank you. Hangs out in the comments and does things like that.
Like how?
But he's also a diehard.
Have you ever
member.
seen him in a shirt?
Maybe once.
That's what a
I will. When it gets colder out, what you see him is rocking a hoodie with no shirt on underneath the hoodie.
But we
That's
know he
just
has
a hoodie.
shirts because there was a day when he hung a bunch of CHGO shirts by hangers on his belt.
Yeah.
legend.
When
Yeah.
we win, that's the
Absolute
picture I
legend.
put
Kev's
up
a legend.
on Twitter when we win.
What an awesome guy.
He's really incredible, dog. He's really
Shout out to the store, the bar
bartender at the
here in
store.
Chicago.
Thank God it's not pants.
Pantsless Wonder. Yeah, that don't work.
Always got love for the shirtless wonder. But yes, back to Ausar Thompson. Will, what do you think this kid's NBA ceiling is?
It's hard with this team right now because they're starting 2 centers, neither of whom can shoot, and Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham, and Killian Hayes is cramping up the space too. So there's just no space on the floor. I think that's contributing to the low field goal percentage. But these guys that just have incredible effort, athleticism, length, size, tools, all of it. I mean, he's one of those players that you kind of have to stretch your imagination to try to figure out what he's going to be because he's so different than everybody else. So I don't know what the answer to that, but I can tell you I'm very excited to figure it out.
That's real.
Karolinko, who's going to score more. I feel like.
I mean, it's just I don't even know what to say about both these guys. Like their combination of athleticism and basketball IQ with the physical tools that they have, they will figure out a way to be great regardless of whether the shooting comes around.
That's the GOAT. I love the deep voice today, GOAT. Also, man, I've noticed the voice been a little deep. I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah,
Smooth.
that's what happens when you start going to Bulls games for the first time in the year, and there's a lot of people. You get.
Are you blaming our Bulls Nation for you losing your voice?
No, he's saying they're coming up to him, want to talk to him and take pictures with him all the time because he's
He's the GOAT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
Wait, guys, can we talk about how Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham are like the most country club rich kid in bad guy in the high school movie names of
It
any
is-
backcourt in the NBA.
It is interesting that Killian Hayes is sort
and
of
Cade
like
Cunningham.
yeah, I know.
Killian,
I mean, that is a
get off my
I mean,
Corvette.
Killian Hayes is in this Pistons
Coached by
starting lineup to
Montgomery
start
Williams.
the year. A former, high lottery pick himself, and kind of just like has been forgotten. Early
Yes,
career injury issues, has struggled to find a
Can't
shot.
shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's still a part of this Pistons little young crew that they've got.
Shirtless wonder.
We'll see how the Bulls handle this young Pistons team. I am genuinely surprised that the Bulls are favored on the road for two teams that look like they are 1-1 coming into this one.
Let's go get a W then.
Let's go get a W. We will be right back here for CHGO Bulls post-game live from studio. Ourselves, our guy John Sabine sitting in with us tonight.
Oh, man.
Hit that thumbs up if you were watching along on YouTube for pregame. Appreciate you. Make sure you are subscribed as well. CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We'll talk to y'all for postgame. Until then, go Bulls. Let's get a dub, shall we?
Peace.
Woo, woo.
We all silly like the mayor.